You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, it is Monday, the 22nd of July, 2024. You're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, and it's been another quite productive day. So I'm actually recording this podcast as part of my live stream, which is something I haven't done for a long time, and I've just done a bit of writing. So as I said before, I'm working on chapter 33 of Empress of the Trees, and this is the chapter where things it's the beginning of the end of the story, so the scene I wrote today, I've written some stuff about my main characters arriving in Scotland, because they're about to do an assault of some kind on the arboretum, which contains the tree that has been separated from the mycelial network, thereby trapping the entity within it, and they have to basically free that entity, because if they don't, then the two factions within the trees that have decided that humanity are ruining the planet, the two factions, one thinks that there should be some human survivors and the other thinks there should be none, and unless they can free that entity, it's very likely that the side that thinks there should be no human survivors is going to win. So the stakes are quite high, it's just again, it's only to read, it's probably only like a few minutes of actual reading, but it's about, I think I've written about 1,700 words today, and it's two scenes. So it's the scene of the good guys, including all their troopers, arriving up in the Cairngorms, and going off on their mission. My main character is not allowed to be part of it because it's quite dangerous, and her army protection unit, she wants to go, and her army protection unit are going, no, don't think so, love. And then the other scene is the first time we've heard from Lord Farnborough in a very long time, actually, and it's him making a phone call to Carl Tucker, basically to say, Arbor Associates are now going after the Arboretum, you need to defend yourselves. And there's so much more to happen in this chapter now. There's the apparent death of one of my main characters, and it's quite sad actually, because it's a character that she was really important early on, but has less to do now. And I say apparent death because they do feature in the epilogue, so maybe they're not as dead as I'm going to make out in the narrative that I'm about to write. But yes, I'm very pleased, if I can write 1,000 words every day, I will be writing a chapter a week-ish. And to be honest with you, I tend to write more than that. I tend to write a whole scene or more. I've written 2 scenes today. The only reason I haven't started a third is because it's the bulk of the rest of the chapter. It's a big sequence, and I probably want to write it in 1 or 2 sittings. I've been writing for a little while now, and also I have just ordered some room service, which should be here quite soon, and I don't want to sort of be interrupted with food in the middle of writing. I talk about room service. So I am in Abuja in Nigeria today. I worked here as a flight attendant. We had a flight that brought us across. It was, again, I don't know if it was due to the IT problems or whatever, but we had quite a long delay, and the delay was caused by an air traffic control restriction over Spain, specifically around Barcelona, which basically meant they were limiting the number of aircraft that were allowed through at that through that passage, which meant our slot was 90 minutes later than we ideally wanted it to be. And obviously you're not going to take off and then fly around for 90 minutes wasting fuel, especially when it's only like a 5.5 hour flight. So we got the passengers on board, and then we waited at Heathrow for the hour and a half before taking off. So now I'm in, it's not sunny Nigeria. If you saw any of the live stream, you'll see that it's actually quite grey and grim out there today. It is a country that we are advised is very dangerous. We literally have an armed guard. It's not on the bus with us. We have a support vehicle following the bus, which has armed people on it to keep us safe. Those in the UK, I can't talk about, I probably shouldn't talk about that, actually. As much as I want to, because it's funny, I won't. But yeah, so we had this security brief, which was kind of their version of the onboard safety demonstration, but on a coach. What would happen if this happens, and what happens if this happens. So yeah, it's the first time I did it, because I've been doing this job for 10 years ago, and the first time I came to Abuja was just under 10 years ago. The first time, you hear the security brief that they give you. If the bus is attacked by armed people, do not resist, do not make eye contact with them, comply. And it's like, ooh. The first time you hear it, it's really scary. And I suppose it's like everything, the more you hear it, like on an aeroplane now, the passengers who travel regularly don't bother to listen to the safety briefing. They'll have their headphones on or be reading a book or whatever. But this one you kind of do want to pay attention to, because, whilst it's very unlikely that something bad is going to happen, it is obviously in the realms of possibility, and we have to be briefed. But anyway, that's today. I am flying back tomorrow morning. I don't think I'll be doing some writing tomorrow, because I don't get home till at the earliest 5 o'clock in the afternoon, probably later than that. And it will depend how well I sleep tonight and how tired I am on whether I do any writing tomorrow. But I may do. I will certainly try and do the podcast, even if it's just to give an excuse for not writing. Actually, no, tomorrow I can talk about something that happened whilst I was writing today, there's two things that have happened today that have made me enjoy the story a bit more. So something that happened to me, I was just thinking during my 40-minute break on the flight, a reason for why the Ragnarok faction may decide that maybe the human race is worth saving, even if it's only a tiny fraction of it. So that came to me, and I quite like that. And it's not quite as it could be done in a very corny way, so I need to be really careful not to present it in a corny way. And the second thing that came to me today was, I was just worried about if they're trying to reconnect this entity that's trapped within the tree using the mycelial network, how would they do that? And for some reason it came to me today, Arbor Associates have built effectively a fibre optic system made out of fungus, which they can use, which just makes perfect sense. So that's made that bit of the story make more sense. And I've explained it now, and I said I wasn't going to. There we go. So I've got nothing to talk about tomorrow. And I've gone over by a minute and a bit. So I'm going to stop talking now. Thank you for listening. Take care. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.